Okay, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited. If you don't know who we are and you need Jeep parts, you should know who we are. We are largest Jeep only parts yard in the world. We specialize in Jeep Wranglers, TJs, JKs, YJs, CJs, the old CJ stuff, and we do our Grand Cherokees and stuff too. We buy everything running and driving, makes us a little different than everybody else in the sense that everything comes in tested. We can move it forward, backward, stop, brake, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then also it ensures that we can buy stuff that's straight, especially when it comes to our tubs and frames, which we are known for. So this is just a comparison video. We get a lot of calls. A lot of people know a lot about these and a lot of people don't. So these videos kind of help you. If you're looking to take apart your Jeep and wonder what it looks like on the bottom side, or you're just wondering what the difference between a TJ, YJ, or a CJ frame, because virtually they are the same dimensions. They're all roughly 12 feet long by about 4 feet wide as far as the frames themselves go, and anywhere from 20 to 27 inches off the ground. So these are going to be the bottom side of them if you were to take your frame all the way down and then flip it over upside down. So this is a TJ, and this is a 03 to 06, which is a little different than the 9702s, but virtually they are the same. They just change a couple things on them. So if you're in a TJ or have a TJ or wondering what it looks like, this is what it'll look like if you were to strip it down. This is the back support here. There's your back skid area. Excuse me, skid, meaning your gas tank skid bolts between this and this. And then your coil spring buckets are there, and then those are your lower control arm mounts, and then your uppers are that one and then that one there, and then your belly pan goes on there, and then you obviously have your frame perches to the body there. Again, lower front control arms, and the uppers there and there, your motor mounts there and there, and then your coil springs which go there front, and then shock towers. That's a track bar mount right there, and then your front, and that is your radiator support there, and then your gearbox mounts. So that guy, that's a TJ. Okay, biggest difference between a TJ and a YJ and a CJ is going to be the suspension. TJs have coil springs, obviously front, and then obviously again the rear, whereas your YJs and CJs, this is a CJ one here, are going to have leaf spring perches there and there. So looking at a bottom of a CJ7, it's going to be 76 to 86. A lot of people are starting to modify and put their tubs on a more modern suspension to get the coil springs out of them. As you can see, the frames are almost identical as far as the width and the length goes, but there is some differences which the perches are. These can be easily cut off and remounted to make more of a, or those can, or vice versa, and whatnot, to get what you're wanting accomplished out of them. Anyway, I'll go over this one with you. So again, same rear support, similar anyway. This is where your gas tank mounts, between the two, and then you have the rear support, the rear brackets for your leaf spring shackles, there and there, and then your perches, your leaf spring perches. These are both your rear ones, and then your belly pan holes are there, and then these are your front hangers for your leaf springs. Your motor mounts, which are removable on these can be taken on and off. Your shock towers, which are there, also can be taken on and off. Those are different than on a TJ. They're all welded on. And then you have your front radiator support and front support all together. And then your shackle hangers will go there, and this one is off of it, but it would go there. Everything on a CJ almost bolts onto it, minus the leaf spring hangers. Those things are riveted on. Otherwise, you could bolt those on as well. So that's on a CJ7. And then let's go look at a YJ. This is a YJ. One thing to note about a YJ and YJ and TJs is the frames between a 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder are identical except for where they place the motor mounts. So this is a 4-liter 6-cylinder or 4.2. That one and that one. If it was a 4-cylinder, those would be moved back right about there. They compensate for the shortness of the block. So anyway, looking at this thing is almost identical to that CJ7. Same back support, very similar gas tank support skid area, coming up to your hangers for your leaf springs there and there, and then here these bolt on. You can see that instead of going onto the bottom like the other ones there on a CJ, they actually have them drilled into the frame with the bushing going into the frame. So that was kind of a modification they changed on them. The shock towers for the rear are also right there on those ones, and those ones are also welded on the CJ on the rear. And then you have 3 instead of the 4 little ones for your belly pan. These ones, a couple of the guys were lazy and broke the studs off, so those will need to be removed for whoever gets this one. And once again, you have your leaf spring front perches, or hangers I should say, and then again the motor mounts are there, which are different for the 4-cylinder. That's your track bar mount welded on. That does not, CJ7s don't have a track bar mount, so if you were putting this on a 7, you would probably take that off. That is your sway bar mount there. Once again, that's different on one. And then the perches are welded on for both sides of your shackles on this one. On a side note, a really popular swap to do on a YJ frame, and you can do these on a CJ as well, is you will cut off these leaf spring hangers here, and you'll buy a kit which makes the fix. So basically on a leaf spring on these guys, your motion is up the front because that's where your shackle is, that's where the motion will be, whereas these are the fixed points on them. So what is called a shackle reversal, it flip-flops it. So it puts your shackles back here and your fixed points here. And that allows you to do is as you hit bumps, your axle, instead of kind of bouncing you in the center, it will allow the axles to move together frontwards and backwards as bumps are hit. That is a 90% improvement on a ride quality. It is one of the best things you can possibly do to a YJ or CJ to get better ride quality out of them. So anyway, hopefully that takes care of all your questions about it. If you have any other questions, comments, anything, please leave us a message or give us a call. We do sell these frames. These have all been listed. Depending on when you see this video, they might already be sold, but because they do sell very quickly, but we do get them in continuously as well. And then again, there is our tubs, and then back in that corner are probably about 200 different axles we have. We have probably about 1,000 drive shafts. I don't know how many hoods, probably another 100 or 200 hoods, fenders, grills, you name it. And then every single piece from the inside and out, nuts and bolts. Our warehouse is filled with all our electronical parts, mechanic parts that we don't want outside and whatnot. And these are tubs that have not been listed. And then the famous LJ tub, which is kind of the unicorn of the TJ world. That guy right there, which that one was sold, but we have one more. That's going to be 04 to 06. They only built those for 2 years. Well, 3 years, I guess. Yeah, so these are really cool. They're a little bit longer. They're kind of equivalent to the old CJ8s. So anyway, I'll just save this for another one. I do appreciate you taking a look, and hopefully you've enjoyed everything.